Kerry's own paramedics treated him at the scene, and he was then taken by helicopter to Geneva University Hospital. Mr. Kerry, who was 71, was said to be stable. His leg was broken. Mr. Kerry was on a diplomatic trip, which included talks in Geneva with the Iranian foreign minister over Tehran's nuclear program.
That's the BBC's Imogen folks in Geneva. Now, Kerry has since cancelled the rest of his trip, meetings in Madrid and Paris. He's being flown back to the U.S. for further treatment. The jury in the trial of Amanda Corrodi and John Natto begins deliberations today. The couple is charged with terror-related offences over an alleged plot to detonate a bomb outside BC's legislature. The Crown argues Natto and Corrodi were the only members of a homegrown terrorist group whose goal was linked to the radical form of Islam they followed. The defense lawyers contend police manipulated the pair into planting the homemade pressure cooker bombs in an elaborate undercover sting operation. Corrodi is pleaded not guilty. As the Truth and Reconciliation Commission prepares to release a summary of its final report on Tuesday, the head of the inquiry has been speaking out. The Commission heard from more than 7,000 survivors of the church-run, state-funded residential school system that operated in Canada for more than a century. Justice Murray Sinclair says there's mounting evidence the government tried to eliminate the culture and language of Canada's Aboriginal people.
As commissioners, we have concluded that cultural genocide is probably the best description of what went on here. But more importantly, that if anybody tried to do this today, they would easily be subject to a prosecution under the Genocide Convention in a world court.
A walk of reconciliation is planned in Ottawa today. Thousands will walk in solidarity with survivors from the residential schools. It will be led by six-time Olympic medalist Clara Hughes. And more events and rallies are being held throughout the week in the capital. Starting today, all flavored cigarettes are banned in Nova Scotia. The wide ban is the first of its kind in the world to include menthol cigarettes. Flavored cigarettes are under fire because critics say they entice young people to smoke. Now, Imperial Tobacco has launched a lawsuit against Nova Scotia saying its menthol cigarettes shouldn't be part of the ban because it's generally older smokers who buy them. Australia's opposition Labour Party is planning to introduce a bill in Parliament tomorrow to legalize same-sex marriage. While it's unclear if there's enough support for the bill, advocates believe gay marriage will soon become a reality in Australia. Phil Mercer has this report from Sydney.
Slowly but surely, Australia appears ready to join its Commonwealth cousins in Canada, Britain and New Zealand in legalising same-sex marriage. On Monday, a marriage equality bill will be introduced to Parliament. It's sponsored by the opposition Labour Party, which says that surveys show almost three-quarters of Australians support the reform. Labour's bill would need the support of some government MPs if it's to succeed, but Australia's Conservative Prime Minister Tony Abbott, who's opposed to gay marriage, won't at this stage allow them a free vote. Mr Abbott, a staunch Catholic, is though well aware of community support for reform. He has suggested that he may allow members of his governing coalition a conscience vote on the issue. Campaigners believe the right for gays and lesbians to marry could come by the end of the year. Phil Mercer, CBC News, Sydney.
And that's the CBC News for this hour. I'm Pep Philpott.